Welcome to Airplay Escape. Please consider subscribing to my Patreon account for the full audiobook. Thank you for your support. Football, the strongest center in history, episode 31. I like Paris, perhaps, compared to how beautiful this goal was. For Ronaldo, what was even more crucial was that the goal completely moved Camber and made him change his resolve. When the game was over, Varro was clearly a little frustrated. He worked very hard in this inter-team match, but he did not have enough understanding with his teammates, and most of his teammates chose to pass the ball to Pastore and Mean, rather than to him, and his chances of performance naturally did not have many opportunities. So, Varro knew he might not be able to start. Instead, Ronaldo stood in the middle of the crowd, unable to suppress the smile on his face. He was very happy with his performance in this match. Although the manager has not yet announced the squad, but Ronaldo is confident that he can be selected in the squad to win. Sure enough, after the game, head coach Camber praised Ronaldo's performance. Although he did not announce the squad, everyone knows that Ronaldo is already one position ahead of Varro in the competition for the position of center. Sure enough, the day before the match, after a day of modest training, the manager began to announce the squad for the next match against Valenciennes. When Camber took out the piece of paper with the list of 18 people written on it, Ronaldo's eyes flashed with longing. He didn't hide his desire for this list at all. Camber glanced at Ronaldo and began to read the list. Sirigu, Areola, Maxwell, Sacco. From goalkeeper to defender, then to striker. Mean, Nene, Varro. At this point, Camburet stopped and glanced at Ronaldo. He noticed that the longing gaze in Ronaldo's eyes brightened. Ronaldo didn't move much. It looks calm, but no one knows. Under the table, the fist of his right hand clenched and unclenched, clenched again, and unclenched again, repeated several times. Finally, it's in the squad for the competition. One step closer to the goal of being able to play for the first team. When Cambuer finished reading the list, he announced his disbandment. At this time, the veteran Kama came up and patted Ronaldo's shoulder. Congratulations, Luo, this is what you deserve, but don't be happy too early. The intensity of the professional league is much stronger than the team's confrontation match. Ronaldo has a good impression of the veteran, and he is grateful for Kamara's size. Sacco also came up and patted Ronaldo. I'm sure your header will surprise people, haha. After entering the big list, Ronaldo did not return to the dormitory that night. Instead, he rode with 17 other teammates to a hotel in Grand Paris to prepare for tomorrow's game. The hotel is located not far from the Parc des Princes, the home of Paris. The name of the hotel is M Galerie Molitor, a 5-star luxury hotel just 600 meters from the Parc des Princes. The bus only takes a minute or two to load the players from the hotel onto the pitch. Very convenient. When the Paris Saint-Germain bus arrived at the door of the hotel was ready for reception. All the players got out of the car and dragged their boxes in the lobby to wait for check-in. Ronaldo looked left and right, curiously. This is a very modern restaurant with a predominantly yellow and white exterior color, and the waiters served here are indeed very eye-catching. Not only waiters, but also blonde beauties coming down from the hotel and wearing bikinis to swim in the hotel pool. They were tall, fair-skinned, blonde, and most importantly, the dress is very sexy and revealing, which is very eye-catching. Ronaldo had nothing to do, so he just stood aside and watched the beauty. During this time, in order to improve himself as soon as possible, he only focused on training hard, and had no chance to come to the romantic Paris city and have a romantic applause with the romantic French women. Seeing so many yin yin yan now, his heart was quite anxious. When a beautiful woman in a crop top and small hot pants that couldn't even wrap her ass passed by him with a big ass, he couldn't help but whistle. Instead of feeling annoyed, the beauty turned around and smiled at Ronaldo. Groove. Opening. Enough waves. I like it. Ronaldo silently gave a thumbs up in his heart. It is also not that he tried to whistle at the sexy dressed beauties on the streets of Sichuan, but he was often met with white eyes and angry eyes. Some people scolded him in Sichuan language. Guawazi, I haven't seen the beautiful Sua. Like now, whistling and not being scolded, Ronaldo was in a good mood. I love France. I love Paris. I prefer. Oh, woman in Paris, France. Ronaldo thought to himself. It's good to be able to make the first team squad. Being able to come out to compete, can you contact more beautiful women? After that, Lao Tzu became famous and became a big star. You don't have to whistle at the beauty when you go out, people directly post it upside down. Days like this. Beautiful. Ronaldo strengthened his belief in getting ahead. Even if it's for these white chicks, kick it out. Episode 32. Another world. While Ronaldo was looking around, the check-in procedures for the team have also been completed. Ronaldo was assigned to a room with the team's number 2 goalkeeper, the French talent Areola, born in '93. Areola whistled at Ronaldo, who was looking at the beauty. Hey, Ro. Only then did Ronaldo withdraw his lecherous gaze and turn to Areola, who called him. At the same time, his eyes also completely returned to normal, and he couldn't see what he was looking at just now. To see the beauty, I will take you specifically one day, as long as you have time. Now we have to meet the room. Areola shook the key card in her hand. You and I are in the same room. Areola is one of the more active people in the team. Not old, but very lively and very well staffed. He is good friends with several big guys in the team. Rua Duo picked up his box and followed Areola into the elevator. The common topic of the two peers is not only football, but of course, beauty. There are so many beautiful women in Paris. Entering the elevator, Ronaldo took the initiative to talk to Ariela. More in the Netherlands. Moreover, Dutch women have more taste. How about it? I will take you to the bar to see it when I have time. Ronaldo was naturally interested. He has been in Paris for more than a month and has hardly left the training base. As for what a bar in Paris looks like, he doesn't even know. What Kawato's bar looked like, he knew. However, Ronaldo and Ariela's plan to sneak out to meet the Parisian chicks came to naught. Because as soon as dinner was over, they were taught a tactical meeting in the hotel meeting. At this meeting, Compuer will announce the starting lineup for the match. As soon as he heard this, Ronaldo completely left the beauties of Paris behind. At least, this night, the beauty of Paris will not have a chance to have a hey with Ronaldo. Ariela doesn't care about starting, because the goalkeeper's position is special, unless the main goalkeeper is injured. As the number 2 goalkeeper, he can basically only watch every game from the bench. After all, the young Ariela couldn't compete with the experienced Sirigu. Therefore, Ariela has no hope that he will be able to play this game, and he is basically not interested in this tactical meeting. Ronaldo was enthusiastically involved. Although Comber spoke French, Ronaldo's French also improved a lot during this time. As it turned out, his linguistic talent was pretty good. This may have something to do with his outgoing personality. It doesn't matter if it's standard or not, he always communicates with his teammates in French words he knows. After talking about the tactical arrangements of the whole team, it is finally time to announce the starting list for tomorrow's game. Even Ronaldo, who had a lot of nerves, couldn't help but feel a pang of nervousness. The front lineup is similar, the same as the last game against Rennes. The only suspense is in the center position. Who will replace Kevin Gamero? After so many days of training, many people actually have a score in their hearts. Combuer looked at Ruashudo and pronounced the last name, Ronaldo. Ronaldo immediately breathed a sigh of relief, and a smile appeared on his face. Varro, on the other hand, was somewhat disappointed. But if you think about it, Varro is also forgiven for losing the starter. He was 192 centimeters tall, but weighed only 70 kilograms. Such a tall, skinny man, a little foot technique, and also a little head. But his foot skills weren't good enough to make chemistry with the likes of Mean and Pastor. And if you want to use his header, that's not as much as sharp. The tactical meeting lasted for more than an hour, and by the time it was over, it was basically time to sleep. Ariela was a little frustrated, and he had planned to take advantage of the night to hang out in a Paris bar, but now it's clearly in vain. Ronaldo's mind is no longer on women. He will start tomorrow's game, so he is full of this thought now. He took out his phone and looked at the time. It's 10:30 p.m. Paris time if you convert it to Beijing time. It should be afternoon, right? Ronaldo called home and told his parents the good news. And Luo Wei couldn't help but be overjoyed when he learned that Ronaldo was selected as a first-team starter. He couldn't even take care of the few remaining deals and went home to tinker with the same computer that Ronaldo used to play games. Hope to find a live stream source of League One. It's a pity that Luo Wei is middle-aged after all, and after 70, he is not very familiar with computers. Moreover, League One is one of the 5 major leagues. However, the gap between popularity and exposure compared with the 4 leagues of the Premier League, Bundesliga, League One, and Serie A is still not small. At least there is no TV station in the country to broadcast the League One match live. Therefore, Luo Wei can only regret not seeing his son's debut in the first team. Ronaldo called and lay down on the bed. Playing in League One means that you have officially stepped into the door of professional football. It didn't matter what I had in the first team before, I could only see another world if I played in the official league. This world is completely different from the world on the training ground. The world is more intense, more realistic, even more exciting. It's also more worth it. Struggle for life. To Ronaldo, of course, the world means getting ahead, means making a lot of money. It means becoming a superstar, scored many, many goals, made lots and lots of money, freed my parents, and let them travel around the world. Girlfriends change every week, European, American, Asian. Well, forget about the African ones. Become the focus of the media, live under the spotlight. No matter where you go, you can attract paparazzi to chase. Brand luxury goods can be bought casually, buy whatever you want, and never ask for a price before swiping a card. In short, it's one word, cool. Episode 33, The Appearance of the Nobody. The Parc des Princes is a football stadium belonging to the city of Paris. It can accommodate 46,000 people. Before the 1998 FIFA World Cup was inaugurated, it was the home of the French national team. After the Qatari consortium took control of Paris, the expansion of the Parc des Princes was also on the agenda for Qataris. A stadium of less than 50,000 people is really not worthy of the team they have built so much. Ronaldo could only stand in the passage from the dressing room to the pitch. He stood with his teammates and was about to play, surrounded by their opponents, Valenciennes players. Valenciennes wore their traditional red jersey. Grand Paris, which plays at home, wears a royal blue home jersey. It was Ronaldo's first official professional league game in his life, and he felt his heart racing. It's not nervousness, it's excitement. He couldn't stand where he was. In the stands, the fans sang and cheered. Ronaldo constantly shook the muscles of his body, sometimes jumping up, sometimes taking 2 steps. Don't be nervous, Luo. The team's vice-captain, right-back Galette, caressed Ronaldo. It's just a normal league game. Thanks, Calais. Ronaldo said, I'm not nervous, I'm excited. When the stadium radio sounds, let's welcome the lads of Paris Saint-Germain. Paris. Paris. There was a huge cheer in the stands. This time, the team's captain, Sacco, shouted at his teammates, it's out. Ronaldo quieted down. As men in front of him began to walk, Ronaldo followed closely and set out on the road to the pitch. He walked firmly, one step, from the somewhat dimly lit passage, step onto the lawn of the course. This is my path to professional football, Ronaldo thought to himself. Parents, watch it. Your son, I will never disgrace you. When Ronaldo came out of the players' tunnel, the television broadcast gave him a close-up. Daniel Leo, a football commentator on France TV, still can't believe it. This season's super-rich team Paris Saint-Germain. The starting center of this game was actually an 18-year-old who had just been transferred from the youth team. Still a celestial dynasty. This is really unexpected, although Kevin Gamero is injured. But in the center position, Paris Saint-Germain also has two players, Barrow and Ledouin. In comparison, Ronaldo's fame is really a little too insignificant. Daniel Leo's point of looking up information about Ronaldo. On Paris Saint-Germain's official website, there is not much information about Ronaldo, and there are only 2 news about Ronaldo. But those 2 news surprised veteran football commentator Daniel Leo. 2 consecutive youth team matches, a hat-trick, a big senior. It looks like this is a guy who can score goals. The one who appears in front of the camera now is a Celestial Empire person, Ronaldo. Although not much is known about Ronaldo, Daniel Leo's commentary continues. Although we don't know when Paris Saint-Germain will have an Oriental player, let's look at the information of this young man of the Celestial Empire, who is 190 centimeters tall and weighs 90 kilograms, which is simply the physique of a giant bear. The position he played was a center forward, and maybe today, the air defense siren will be sounded on the Valenciennes defense. The televised footage shows Daniel Leo's voice, and in the field, driven by the live broadcast, the live fans are chanting the names of the players. Jeremy. The live radio shouted out the first half of the name, Mean. The fans automatically picked up the back names. Ronaldo heard Mean's name. He's behind Mean, so it's up to him. He pricked up his ears, ready to hear his name. He was full of anticipation. This is a historic scene. Uncle Ronaldo is about to receive cheers from everyone. And yet, Luaneduo. When the name is pronounced, even the voice of the live broadcast is smaller. The stadium was quiet. Ronaldo? Ronaldo? Who is this? The fans found the name very unfamiliar, and they were stunned. Everyone looked at each other. Before they could react, the live radio began to read out the name of the next person, Garrett. Oh. This time, the cheers came back. Ronaldo looked depressed. He did not expect that his historic appearance would be this result. There were tens of thousands of people in the stands, and none of them knew him. Damn. Ronaldo clenched his fists. I'm so unwilling. However, he reacted quickly. All he had before were meaningless fantasies. Now he is a real nobody. And not just in Paris. Throughout France, throughout Europe, he is all an insignificant nobody. Cheers? Chuanxia welcome? Beauty upside down? Inexistent. However, Ronaldo looked at the stage. Someday, I'll let the world know my name. I'm Ronaldo. One day, even if you get tired of hearing the name, you will still remember him. In the middle of the course, Ronaldo stepped on the football. He heard the referee's whistle. So, he gently kicked the ball to his partner Mean, who was in the forward line today. Mean turned and passed the ball and ran forward himself. The game has begun. Episode 34. Remember the name. For the first 20 minutes, Ronaldo struggled. His presence on the field is not high. This is actually normal. Paris Saint-Germain are mainly ground attacking, while Ronaldo almost directs headers. In addition to his heading ability, Ronaldo's other abilities do not meet the requirements of professional leagues. The pace of official matches is much faster than training matches. Compared to other players, Ronaldo felt completely unintegrated into the game. Most of the time, he's just running. When attacking, he ran up. When defending, he ran back. Although he returned to defense, his contribution to defense was low. After all, he's just a center. 20 minutes passed and he had no chance to perform. If anyone pays attention to him, there is only one evaluation of him: headless flies. In fact, at the beginning, the commentator was quite interested in Ruojian. After all, he is a player from the Celestial Empire, and his figure is too burly for people to ignore him. But as the game went on, everyone's attention to him gradually decreased. Why? Because he doesn't have a decent performance at all. Attack the foursome up front. Pastor, Mean and Nene passed each other the ball and Ronaldo didn't match at all. On the pitch, everyone also directs attention to the players who have the ball, and those who can't get the ball automatically disappear from everyone's field of vision. Ronaldo knows that he has to perform as soon as possible, otherwise there is no doubt that he will be replaced early by the manager. He didn't want his hard-earned opportunity to slip away. Valenciennes has adopted a very conservative tactic away from home. They shrink the backfield, tighten their defense, and then wait for an opportunity to counterattack. Valenciennes studied Paris Saint-Germain's tactics. Their previous 3 strikers were all dexterous and had good skills on their feet, but they were not tall. Such a striker needs to have space in order to be powerful. So, Valenciennes' tactics are very targeted. The Valenciennes manager was surprised to see Paris Saint-Germain send Ronaldo. Just look at his figure and know that this kid and Kevin Gamero are not the same number. Before that, I was worried about how to deal with Ronaldo. Now it seems that I have overthought myself. This kid simply doesn't meet the requirements to play in League One. The Valenciennes coach was very relieved to sit back in the dugout. It seems that this game, their own team has a chance to score points at the Parc des Princes, Valenciennes' head coach thought. Paris Saint-Germain bought a lot of stars, but they clearly haven't found the rhythm to win. To be able to beat such a star-studded team, I believe many managers will have a sense of accomplishment. Who is that big man number 69? Why did he start? Oh my god, did he ever get the ball? In the stands, Paris Saint-Germain fans were very dissatisfied with Ronaldo's performance. There is no doubt that Ronaldo is now facing a crisis. Paris Saint-Germain's tactics are completely unpredictable. None of the previous technical players had won. Now that Ronaldo is replaced and playing as before, it's even more chaotic. Combuer gritted his teeth and decided to change tactics. He also saw that Ronaldo would do nothing but header. If you can't play the power of Ronaldo's header, then it's better not to let him play. Taking advantage of a dead ball opportunity, Combuer handed Mean to his side. We don't go to the ground, we go in the air and tell them that if you take the ball directly from the back, you can find a long pass, and the two wings should be fully utilized, and the cross on the wing. Give Ronaldo a pass, and let him use his header. Mean nodded. Although he is sometimes criticized for being too independent, he is not the kind of striker who has to complete the shot himself. He's still happy to assist. And he also knew Ronaldo's header was great. Didn't Ronaldo make the first team with an indestructible header? Ronaldo decided to change. He decided to talk to a few of his teammates up front and let them pass the ball into the air. Unexpectedly, after Mean returned, he quickly explained the manager's tactics. Kick Ronaldo in the head. Paris Saint-Germain's players quickly reached a consensus. The game continues. The football was passed to Pasteur's feet. At this time before, Pastore would try to open a gap in the middle and do something. But this time, he passed the ball directly to the wing, to Mean's feet. Take the side, then cross the wing, to the middle. Ronaldo turned around and pulled his legs and plunged into the restricted area. My chance has come. Ronaldo got excited. Mean gets the ball on the wing. Will he try to cut in? In the commentary table, the narrator Daniel Leo raised his voice. However, Mean did not mean to cut inside. He snapped his right foot directly and dunked the ball in the direction of the baseline. And then, straight pilling with the left foot. The familiar feeling is back. Ronaldo has already rushed into the penalty area at this moment, and after he saw the football flying, he immediately rushed towards the football landing point. In the process, the Valenciennes defense finally appeared panic. Watch out for that big guy, Valenciennes' goalkeeper shouted. Only now did they finally realize that Paris Saint-Germain still has a center forward. But with his shout, Ronaldo kicked hard in the sprint and jumped high. The center-backs waiting in the box also jumped up and prepared to compete for the top. Combuer clenched his fists. A focused look. The fans also left their seats slightly. Next. What happens? Ronaldo soared into the air. It's like an eagle, flapping its wings. Good judgment for weak electricity in football. Let Ronaldo grab the position before the defender. Next, he just needs to just shake your head in the right position. Looking at the football getting closer and closer, Ronaldo looked calm. It's my world. The lion shakes its head. Boom. His forehead touched the football, and at the same time, his neck and waist and abdomen simultaneously exerted force, throwing the ball at the goal. The Valenciennes goalkeeper took to the skies, but before that, the ball had already flown into the goal. The ball went in. The commentator was stunned for a moment, and then shouted. After landing, Ronaldo saw the ball spinning on the net. He knew he had succeeded. Excited, he did not choose to celebrate with any of his teammates, but ran to the sidelines. Standing in front of a video camera, he turned his back to the camera, and pointed his name behind his back. Ronaldo. Remember the name. This World. Episode 35. The man who detonated the stadium. Few people would believe that in Ronaldo's first game, he scored. Make your career first team debut and help the team open the scoring goal. Such a script, I am afraid that before the start of this game, not many people can imagine. This is true even for Combuer. Look at the arrogant back with his back to the camera. Oh God. Assistant coach Bertessi held his head in his hands and looked incredulous. Even he didn't expect that Ronaldo's first goal for the first team would come so suddenly and so quickly. The ball went in. The commentator, Daniel Rio, froze for a moment, then yelled. He was now cursing the colleague who had prepared the information for him. The information of such a goal scorer is actually so sloppy. Damn it. Where did this number 69 come from? Why was he included in Paris Saint-Germain's first team starting lineup? A Celestial Empire player joined Paris Saint-Germain. Why didn't he see any media coverage? It's just overwhelming. So much so that Daniel, as an ace commentator, can now only repeat the ball went in, and can't do more. What a fool. Daniel took a deep breath, took off the headphones, and roared at the backstage. What about the information? Right now, a wave of cheers swept through the stands. It only took one goal for Ronaldo to get cheers from more than 40,000 fans. Paris Saint-Germain fans jumped from the stands, and the moment they scored, the stands erupted like a volcano. The heat wave swept through everything. On the pitch, Paris Saint-Germain's players rushed at Ronaldo. Mean, who was the closest, pounced on him and jumped on Ronaldo. Well done. He slapped Ronaldo the back. Although he didn't score the ball, it was enough to make him happy. The other teammates also pounced, and they surrounded Ronaldo. Well done, boy. It's incredible. This is your first competition. Actually, when I saw that it was Luo who followed in the middle, I knew there was. Haha, good. Get the most out of your training. Let them see what you've done in training. Everyone congratulated Ronaldo, who scored his first goal for the team. Ronaldo kept laughing, surrounded by the happiness of scoring goals. Hurry up. I need to know the details of Paris 69. What the? No. No? How could it not be? I don't care, go find it. Definitely look for it. Do you know who he is? If you don't hurry, we'll have to quote from others. He scored a goal just now. The first player scored, and even if you're stupid, you know what that means, right? 1 goal to fame. 1 goal to become famous. I only know his number, name, height, weight. What's the use of this? I need to know where he is? Why did he come to Paris? At this moment, in the media gallery at the Parc des Princes, the reporters have exploded. They have almost no idea of who scored the goal, which drives journalists who are extremely sensitive to first-hand information crazy. Who is the first to get the information of Ronaldo, or even get the interview of Ronaldo's first? Who will be able to have a greater advantage in the future? News about Ronaldo. If you have the opportunity to become a good friend of a future star, you will undoubtedly get more material. Now it's all about the spotlight on the pitch. This kid. Who exactly? This is the moment. In a corner of the stands of the Parc des Princes, the Manchester United scout's face was extremely gloomy. There is no doubt that Ronaldo has improved again, and the progress is very, very big. More importantly, after this game, this kid will become famous. Being famous is a good thing for Ronaldo, but for Manchester United, it may not be a good thing. This scout gentleman can already foresee. After this game, Manchester United want to take Ronaldo away from Paris. I am afraid that the price will be several times, or even more than 10 times. Boss, the situation has changed. The scout was somewhat helpless to report to his top boss. Episode 36. 1 goal and 1 assist, the brightest star. Mr. Valenciennes' head coach felt that his luck must have reached his home today. Before today, he had no idea that there was such a role in the Paris Saint-Germain squad. All his preparations were based on Paris Saint-Germain's previous personnel. Originally, his team's tactics were to play defensively counterattack, shrink defense, and then seize the opportunity to counterattack. But now what? Ronaldo was in front, and Paris Saint-Germain took full advantage of his point to bombard Valenciennes' defense. Their contraction defense turned into a full-force defense. As for fighting back, that's basically gone. At this time, not continuing to concede goals is already something to celebrate. Where is there still the mind to think about attacking? In the 26th minute of the game, Ronaldo again caught a chance to cross from the wing and smashed the ball into the goal with a header. Bang! A huge sound smashed into the hearts of all the fans. Beam. There was some regret in the voice of the narrator, Daniel Leo. If this goal goes in, it will be really crazy. Crazy to an incredible degree. Scoring a goal in the debut is enough to make people talk about it. If only the debut scored twice. Daniel Leo can already imagine what a wave this kid will start. The crossbar refused Ronaldo's second goal, Daniel Leo said. At this time, in the stands, the Paris Saint-Germain fans first let out a regretful sigh, and then immediately cheered. They've completely embraced the big guy of the team. For the fans, as long as you can contribute to the team, they'll fall in love with you. Ronaldo, Ronaldo. Although the pronunciation is not standard, and at first it was just a small area shouting, but soon, such shouts swept the entire stand. Ronaldo, whose goal was denied by the crossbar, patted the grass regretfully. Then he heard shouts from the stands. He immediately laughed. He clenched his fists, waved them towards the stands, and then raised his hands to signal the fans to be louder and warmer. The cheers immediately hit like a tsunami. The fans responded to Ronaldo with even more enthusiastic cheers. On the pitch, Valenciennes players had panic on their faces at the moment. In such an away environment, they have absolutely no way to stop the opponent from playing high. It's normal for players to have fluctuations and even panic. This kid, Camber, also regretted that the goal was not scored, but he laughed when he saw Ronaldo's next move. Stir up emotions in the stands and let the fans put more pressure on their opponents. Such behavior, Ronaldo, is almost self-taught. This kid. It's really a natural star. It's just a pity that he only heads. Assistant coach Bertuzzi shook his head regretfully. In his opinion, Ronaldo, who can only head the ball, even if he can become a good center forward, can only be used as a special weapon, not a conventional weapon. He can already expect that in the next game, the opponent will make a fuss about Paris Saint-Germain's long pass. Although Ronaldo did not score this goal, the atmosphere of the whole game was completely ignited by him. In the tsunami of cheers from the fans, Paris Saint-Germain launched one attack after another against the opponent's goal. In the process, Ronaldo is undoubtedly the most eye-catching player. His aerial work made Valenciennes' defense line miserable. When the pressure accumulates to a certain extent, losing the ball is inevitable. 32nd minute of the game, Matuidi let go of a long straight pass from near the center circle and sent the ball into the box. Inside the box, Ronaldo turned his back to the goal and suppressed the defenders. In this case, it is difficult for him to attack directly, but Ronaldo is not a tendon. He headed lightly and sent the ball to the top of the arc. At the top of the arc, Pastore has long been ready to open his bow and take an arrow. Good pass. Pastore straightened his instep and shot directly at the ball. The football is like a cannonball, shooting straight into the upper left corner of the goal. 2-0. Paris Saint-Germain extended the score. Beautiful. With Ronaldo's outstanding aerial prowess, Paris Saint-Germain extends its lead. Ronaldo headed the ball and Pastore volleyed hard. This ball showed us another role of Ronaldo as a center forward. His physicality can make him the fulcrum of the team's attack. Valenciennes is 2 goals away and it's only the first half, but I dare say Paris Saint-Germain are getting closer to their first win of the season. At the commentary table, the commentators were speechless. At this time on the screen broadcast on television, Paris Saint-Germain players hugged near the corner flag district. Although it was Pastore who scored the goal, at the moment, the camera was locked on Ronaldo. No doubt, just for the first half, this big man is the brightest star on the court. He had a confident smile on his face. In the eyes of many people, this means the rise of a new star. The celebration is over. The camera was following Ronaldo all the time. He waved to the stands, then turned and returned to the pitch. Number 69. This is an oversized number that is usually only chosen by players on the edge of the team. Fades in front of the camera's lens. Episode 37. The status of the first team. In the first half, thanks to a goal and an assist by Ronaldo, Paris Saint-Germain led 2-0. This made the fans and the audience extremely excited at the end of the first half. Finally, in the third round of the league, they saw the light of victory. Combuer was also greatly relieved when he returned to the dressing room. Just kidding, Paris Saint-Germain's such a star-studded squad if they don't win in 3 rounds of Ligue 1. That was enough to remove him from power. Leonardo, the team's chief executive, is very blind to the somewhat dim star flavor of Combuer. Combuer knows that if he wants to keep his job, he must stabilize his grades. If he leads Paris Saint-Germain to victory, the other side may not find a reason to fire him. It's just that Combuer is still a little naive in thinking. If Leonardo finds a big enough receiver to replace Combuer, it will only be a word from the Qatari consortium. And, ironically, the team spent so much money this summer, and finally came out to credit the team for the first win of the season. It was actually the team's own youth team products. At halftime, Ronaldo became the focal point in the dressing room. Everyone congratulated him on his performance in the first half. In particular, Combuer also praised Ronaldo's performance in front of everyone. However, Combuer did not intend to play the whole game. This is for the purpose of protecting newbies. After all, this is only Ronaldo's first game. The second half of the game went on to the 60th minute. Ronaldo was substituted and Vero finally got a chance to play. Although Ronaldo was still unsatisfied, he accepted the manager's decision. He's actually thinking about scoring goals. Score a goal in the first game, of course, but wouldn't it be better if it was a goal? The hat-trick is simply better. Happy seniors? I woke up laughing in my dreams that night. When Ronaldo came off, the Parc des Princes stadium erupted with cheers and applause. Paris Saint-Germain fans were quite happy with Ronaldo's performance. This is applause of praise. Although before this, they did not know who Ronaldo was. But after this game, I believe they will remember the name. Moreover, this is still a player from his own youth academy. This is my own person. The fans have absolutely nothing to say about their own people. Well done, Gauze. Combuer offered to come up and give Ronaldo a high five. If before this game, Ronaldo was just a rookie who came to the first team from the academy, so now, Ronaldo has some of his own first team positions. In addition, Ronaldo is from the Paris Academy and was born with Sacco and other youth academy schools. Even if you are the head coach, you have to have a good relationship with Ronaldo. Combuer knows that a team's poor results are not necessarily a problem in the dressing room, but if the dressing room is not done well, the results will definitely not be much better. As a manager, he has to coach a team with a more complicated dressing room environment like Paris Saint-Germain. He still understands this emotional intelligence of people. It can be said that with this game, Ronaldo established himself in the first team at least. He is no longer a marginal person. Sure enough, when Ronaldo walked to the bench, Elola, also a substitute goalkeeper from the Paris Academy, jumped up from his seat eagerly. He stretched out his hand. Luo, come on. Let's cheer for that damn goal. Ronaldo walked over and held out his hand to give all his teammates a high five. Finally, he sat down next to Ariela. Hee, how does it feel to score in Ligue 1? Ariela raised her elbow and poked him. Cool, Ronaldo said with a thumbs up. That's right, that's how it feels. Ariela squeezed her eyes at Ronaldo. Do you want to be cooler tonight? You mean? Ronaldo's eyes lit up. Do an event, call Sacco. Mean said he would like to come too. How, just tonight? Tonight? Alright, yes. As long as this game doesn't capsize in the gutter. Ariela said, as long as you win today, tomorrow will be a day off. I tell you, walk out of the dressing room at the Parc des Princes stadium and we're free, whatever you want, no one cares at all. Oh, not bad, Ronaldo whistled. I'll show you what France is, Ariela said with a raised eyebrow. This made Ronaldo can't help but be fascinated, and he can't help but hope that the game will end soon. He has been an ascetic for more than a month since joining Grand Paris. Every day is hard training, and the night is also sweaty at the super training ground. Don't talk about women, not even a sow has ever been seen. This day, it's really faint. I finally had this opportunity, no matter what, to see the world of flowers in Paris. Good. We'll leave when the game is over, Ronaldo said in a low voice. The two whispered outside the court. On the field, the format seems to have changed somewhat. After Varro came on the field, he did not put as much pressure on the opposing defense as Ronaldo. The pressure on Valenciennes' defense suddenly eased. Moreover, Varro's foot technique is not as good as Kevin Gamero, and the header is not as good as Ronaldo. After he came on the field, Paris' attack also fell into a state of confusion for a while. The chaos of the attack made Valenciennes suddenly see a glimmer of hope. They are 2 goals behind Paris. That said, a 2-goal lead is not safe. So, in the second half of the game, Paris' defense began to be tested. This forced Cambert to make successive substitutions to strengthen the defense. After some tossing, Valenciennes scored a goal. Fortunately, the team scored 2 in the first half, and finally with these 2 goals, Paris won 2-1 at home and got their first 3 points of the season. Episode 38. When the whistle for the end of the game sounds. Only then did Ronaldo and Ariela stop discussing the Parisian woman. They got up from the bench and prepared to return to the dressing room. The televised camera gave Ronaldo a close-up. Without a doubt, he is the best player of the game. Both goals had a lot to do with him, plus his opposing defense. He is rightfully the best. Ronaldo also saw an extra cameraman carrying a camera beside him. He pointed to the back of his nails and motioned for the other to pat there. So the photographer turned around. The capital letters Luanajuo appear on the screen. After giving Ronaldo a close-up, the photographer continued to follow. Ronaldo high-fived his teammates all the way to celebrate the victory. Compared to most players before him, Ronaldo's carelessness. Now everyone will come up and pat Ronaldo on the back or buttocks when they get off the field. To know. This game would have been without a single goal and an assist by Ronaldo. It's hard for teams to win. It was the goal that directly determined the outcome of the game. Professional players know that Ronaldo played such a game, which means that his position in the eyes of the manager has been stable since then. As long as he doesn't show big ups and downs, after that, Ronaldo's road is much easier. Even if Ronaldo plays as well as he does today in the next few games, when Kevin Gamero returns, I am afraid that he will not be able to squeeze Ronaldo's position. That's professional football. The able are up, the mediocre are down. Very realistic. It's also brutal. Mixed zone. Journalists crowded together. When most players from both sides pass by, they only ask 1 or 2 questions and let them pass. They are all waiting. Wait for the most dazzling big man in this game. Finally, those they are waiting for are long overdue. The entrance suddenly darkened, and a burly and tall figure walked in. Number 69. Hey, big guy, Ronaldo. Journalists rushed to shout, hoping to get Ronaldo's attention. When Ronaldo walked to the heart of the mixed zone, he was surrounded by reporters. It's not like when he was in the youth team, when Barr didn't want him to be exposed to the media more. In the first team, the manager doesn't care about that. Can I ask a question? Journalists scrambled to get ahead. No problem. Ronaldo smiled. Just kidding, the group can't ask for it. Unfortunately, he underestimated the enthusiasm of journalists. Journalists who are allowed are like floodwaters that open the floodgates. All problems rush out like a rushing flood. Is this your first official professional game? You are 18 years old this year, and your nationality is the Celestial Empire. How did you get to Paris Saint-Germain? Your name is Luanajuo, which is pronounced similar to Ronaldo. Is this what Ronaldo means in Chinese? How does it feel to score a goal in the first game? I noticed that your header in the game was very good, but in other ways it was more average. What is the reason for that? All kinds of questions were thrown out, making Ronaldo a little big-headed. He raised his hand. I'm in a hurry, so let's answer 3 questions that are of more concern. Without the slightest fear, Ronaldo signaled the reporters to be quiet, and then answered a few basic questions. Then a group of reporters who looked like seagulls chasing fishing boats were asked regretfully. He couldn't wait to leave the mixed zone. Really? As Ariela expected. In the dressing room, Combuer announced that the team had a day off tomorrow. This made the players immediately shout. Ronaldo and Ariela looked at each other, and Ronaldo suddenly looked forward to it. Wait until a few young people take a shower, change their jerseys, change into civilian clothes. They came out of the Parc des Princes and went straight to the club. The hall of the dimly lit nightclub was filled with loud music. On the dance floor, the demons dance. Seiko is dancing on the dance floor, dancing with a very coolly dressed mixed-race woman. Ariela next to him was coaxing, paste it, stick it again. Oh pretty. On the other side, Pastor, who took the initiative to come out with a few people, looked a little shy, but his face was also a little red. Mean pushed Ronaldo next to him off the dance floor. Go. Brat. Go get a feel for Paris. Wahahaha. As soon as Ronaldo went down, he was immediately pulled closer to the crowd by a woman with long hair and a shawl. They all drank too much. Ronaldo was even more poured out by his enthusiastic teammates, of course, because, cheers to celebrate Ronaldo's first goal, cup after cup, there are both red and white. Ronaldo had never been so indulgent. His mind was a little messed up. Episode 39, became famous in China. Meanwhile, in the country, although the League One league is not very popular in China, many fans have basically zero understanding of League One except for some strong teams in League One. But it's one of the 5 major leagues. Therefore, many sports websites/apps will do a little League One news. Of course, I don't pay too much attention to it. Therefore, even if it is classified as a League One upstart, the most eye-catching bar in League One recently is Saint-Germain. On a certain swoop, the game at 3:30 in the morning Imperial Capital Time, there was no post-match news for the first time. Instead, it waited until the next morning, after the news editor in charge of Ligue 1 went to work. He logged on to France's news website, picked up a news story directly from it, translated it and put it on the Nail website, and he was ready. It's one of his daily jobs, nothing special. Yet this day, of course, when you see the huge headline on the French news website, this sparse sleepiness in the morning immediately wakes up. Mysterious Celestial Empire players pass and help Dybari win their first win of the season at home. Celestial Empire players, 1 pass, 1 assist. These keywords instantly combined, making him stunned. Fake. Fake, right? Where are there still players playing in Europe now? Since Xingji returned to China from England and joined Changzhou Hengtai, Celestial Empire players have basically disappeared in the mainstream leagues in Europe. Moreover, the strength of the players of the Celestial Empire is still quite large in the gap between the top league and Europe. In addition to the older generation of players trained under the national system, several can still keep up with the rhythm of Europe. Now under the marketization, the weak football foundation of the Celestial Empire has been completely exposed. Coupled with fake gambling, the entire football industry has been severely impacted. Now don't talk about players who are capable of joining European teams. Even in the top leagues in China, it is even more difficult to find a post-90s player who can pick the beam. The editor of A Certain Pounce immediately reacted. If this thing is true, what a shock it will detonate in the domestic football circle. This is like a detonation bomb, which will absolutely completely blow up this stagnant water in the domestic football circle. He immediately copied the article. Without much modification, it was sent directly to A Certain Pounce and contacted the editor-in-chief. Directly put it on the homepage. Passing shot. Celestial Empire players shine in League 1. The brightest star in the big bar turned out to be a Celestial Empire player. Such a title. Basically, any Celestial Empire football fan will click in. Bar Saint-Germain was originally well known in China. After all, it was Ronaldinho's debut team. And this summer, the fame of Bar Saint-Germain due to the acquisition of the Qatari consortium has made almost all football fans realize that there is such a team. They are about to become Chelsea and Manchester City in League 1. And such a local tyrant team, there is actually a Celestial Empire player in it? And 1 pass and 1 help? Groove. Is this really fake? Fake news kills the whole family. Oh Saint-Germain. Such a team has Celestial Empire players, which should have been blown up by the media a long time ago, right? How is that possible? Go and die. How could Celestial Empire football produce such a player? At first, of course, there was an overwhelming amount of skepticism. After all, even the captain of the national team cannot mix abroad. Inexplicably, if a player appears, he can appear in such a local tyrant team in the big bar? If only the average small team could make sense. But this is a big one. It's bigger than Manchester City. But as more and more news from the French side was translated, there were even people who brought the video over from YouTube. Domestic fans boiled. Lying groove. What a bonus. I declare that Thai Bar will be my home team from now on. Luaneduo. It's a bit of a weird name. Are you sure it's a Celestial Empire person? The official website in the big bar is introduced, and it is indeed the nationality of the Celestial Empire. This guy is so strong. Haha, the national team, hurry up and summon him. The upstairs thinks too much. Can I enter the national team without giving red envelopes? For a while, the name Ronaldo caused a storm in the country. It was even on Weibo's hot search. In a word, a player named Luaneduo is famous, although no one knows who this Luaneduo is. However, the information on the official website of the big bar, as well as the name of the country on the nationality line, all proven. This Luaneduo is the people of the Celestial Empire. Hurry up and send reporters. We need to get the exclusive interview of the players as soon as possible. In the imperial capital, inside the office of the Imperial TV Sports Channel, as a national broadcaster, they also reacted quickly and sent a team of journalists to France. And the major sports media in the country, they also began to book tickets to France. In a word, Ronaldo is on fire in the country. A real one-goal fame. All the fans were eager to know everything about the Celestial Empire player named Luaneduo. Sichuanshu Province, Sichuan capital. Luo Wei and his wife opened the door of their small shop early this morning. Luo Wei hummed a song, and his mood was very replenished. Old Luo, Moziji is so happy. Hey, nothing, Luo Wei said with a smile. In fact, it was Ronaldo who sent him WeChat. Above is a highlight of Ronaldo's performance in the game. Moreover, Luo Wei is not very good at surfing the internet, but he has already seen his son on the news. Can be on the news. This already shows that his son has become famous. The son got ahead. Of course he was happy, but when others asked, he couldn't say it. After all, he took the initiative to say that he was suspected of showing off. You still have to wait for others to find out. Oops. You see. This is not Lao Luo's son. At this time, the lady of the shop next door suddenly shouted with her mobile phone. At this time, the pride on Luo Wei's face flashed. The son's performance greatly satisfied his vanity. Yes. This person is Lao Luo's son. Lao Luo, your son plays football in France? Haven't heard you say that? Lao Luo's son is here. I heard that those players in the national team each have an annual salary of tens of millions. And this news says that Lao Luo's son will also be called into the national team. This is not to say, gee, all kinds of envious eyes looked over. Let Luo Tao feel more faceted. Episode 40, One Ball Fame Ronaldo edition. Ronaldo does not know for the time being that last night's game caused a storm in the country. Although said it was the room price a day, but last night everyone was tired of playing, so they went back to their respective homes. Ronaldo also took a taxi back to the training base. Upon returning, he immediately entered the system. After all, in this game, he completed the task of starting. It is estimated that there are also the first league goals, the first league assists, side missions, and so on, plus the experience that comes with goals and matches. He is looking forward to moving to the next level, and a third of the experience upgrade? So fast, although full of expectations, Ronaldo did not expect it. 50,000 upgrade experience, now actually to reach so soon? You completed several tasks in one go yesterday. Entered the starting lineup, played for the first team, started for the first team, scored the first goal and first assist in the professional league, the individual honor of the best player, and then the team won the game and also brought experience, Xiao Luo explained. Ronaldo raised an eyebrow and smiled. Doesn't that mean that if you play a few more games like this, you can upgrade yourself? It seems that the game is still more critical. Good earning, good earning. Hey. What is it? Reputation? Is this still prestigious? Of course. Prestige is your popularity, then why didn't I find out before? Because your previous popularity was 0. This is a cruel fact. Ronaldo opened the prestige system and found that it said, Hot Rising Star, 98. Hot Nova? Ronaldo was shocked. Although he scored yesterday, but it doesn't seem to reach this level, right? This prestige corresponds to the whole world. So, you look at your popularity in the Celestial Empire. Only then did Ronaldo remember and took out his mobile phone to open Weibo. He found that almost all sports bloggers were reporting on themselves. Moreover, he is also on the hot search, ranked in the hot search. Second place, Lying Groove. Who is this dung boy? Why is he in front of me? Ronaldo was suddenly unhappy. Hee, did you buy the hot search? Xiao Luo Ronaldo froze suddenly. He wanted to buy it, but now he's getting a salary from a youth team contract. It's affordable there. Forget it, I'm going to training. Ronaldo shook his head. He was a little upset. It was so unpleasant to be pressed on the top of the head by a few little boys who didn't know. Vacation today? Xiao Luo suddenly tilted his head and asked. That's their holiday. I can't take a holiday, Ronaldo said. Xiao Luo was slightly stunned. Looks. It is not for nothing that the system chose this guy. Kombuer feared Ronaldo would get carried away after his first performance. In fact, he already knew from assistant coach Bertessi that Ronaldo had gone out drinking with Ariela, Sacco, Mean and Pastor after that game. So, he decided to give Ronaldo more training. But he soon discovered that he didn't need to do it at all, because Ronaldo has not changed from before. Every day when I train normally, I am very serious and dedicated, and I will stay and practice after the training. Ronaldo, who worked so hard, made Kombuer find no reason to reprimand him. Although this kid went out to drink and returned drunk, but at the very least, the training attitude is not bad. This time, Bar found that there were many more journalists outside his youth team. You know, the training camp of the youth team is usually very quiet, and it is basically impossible to come to so many media. The arrival of these reporters made the youth team teammates excited. Who doesn't want to be famous? Who doesn't want to be a big star when they play football? Ronaldo is now a role model for everyone. He only spent a few weeks in the youth team before being transferred to the first team. In just 2 weeks with the first team, he played for the team in League One and scored a crucial goal. The curve of this kid's fame is almost rising all the way, and the momentum is like a broken bamboo. It must be Ronaldo's fame that made the media discover that the youth team still has genius to discover. The players of the youth team fantasized about the next scene after the training. They were surrounded by journalists who praised their performance in the youth league. When the youth team training was over, the reporters rushed up, but not around the players, but around Coach Bar. Monsieur Bar, how did he get to Paris Saint-Germain? How long has he been in the youth team? What qualities of him impressed you? Bar's head was stunned, and he shouted, quiet. All quiet. All the reporters went quiet. Bar asked, who is he? Ronaldo. That Celestial Empire player, the one who is as strong as a bear, like a bear. Bar knew about Ronaldo's goal the day before yesterday, but he didn't expect it. These reporters actually came to him. Of course, if they want to find it, he can't help it. After all, Ronaldo's youth team resume is here. But Bar didn't want to add another fire to the raging flame. In his opinion, it is not a good thing that such a young Ronaldo is too famous. He said directly, sorry, I can only say that he is a very talented player. And have the potential to be a good player. Go find Kombuer, he's Ronaldo's head coach now. Journalists were somewhat dissatisfied. What Kombuer wants to say has already been said. Do you still need to come to you? But they couldn't grab Bar and force him to say something. This wasn't an interview. It was restricting one's freedom of life. Although known as the uncrowned king, but they don't dare to break the law. Bar returned to the training ground and looked at the envious players. See, as long as you train hard, one day this scene will also belong to you. Bar said loudly.